Hey friends, we are going to talk about salad dressings today. The last couple of weeks I've been telling you about how to make salads, and one of the key components of a really great salad is an amazing dressing. And making our own allows us to choose the exact flavors and consistencies and know exactly what we are putting in our bodies. Now, I use store-bought dressings sometimes. They are getting better and better for being able to find ones that are vegan and whole foods in the store. But there's also nothing like being able to go in your fridge, grab a few ingredients, and make your own delicious dressing. So I'm going to show you 4 of my favorites, and I'm also going to tell you about 2 other favorites. So we better get started. So I've got all my ingredients and tools out and ready to go, and what we're going to start with is one of my favorite bases for a simple dressing, and that is tahini. This is just sesame seeds ground up into a paste. You could use cashew or almond butter or some other neutral flavored nut or seed butter if you like. And essentially the base of this dressing is just going to be equal parts tahini. This is the end of a jar, so it's a little bit solid. Equal parts tahini, lemon juice or apple cider vinegar, and water. And I'm actually going to do mine in my mini food processor attachment from my Cuisinart Smart Stick, because you could take this tahini dressing in basically any flavor direction you want. I am going to add some beautiful fresh basil. I started a windowsill garden this spring and it's going really well, and I'm super excited about it. So I'm going to toss this in there along with my tahini, and I'm going to use lemon juice today. I didn't measure the tahini, but it was a little bit less than a quarter cup. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to leave the water out for now, and then I'll add it based on how I see things coming together. So I'm also just going to add the rest of this basil in here. Now, if you don't have fresh basil, or if it's out of season or something, you could make this dressing with fresh arugula or baby spinach. It won't have quite the same flavor, but it'll still be good. And we'll put a clove of garlic. I'm just cutting the ends off and then I'll press it through here. You don't even need to take the skin off when you put it through a press. And using a press for a salad dressing is a great idea because it makes sure that your garlic gets really mushed up. And I wanted to go for a little bit of a pesto flavor on this, so I'm adding a tablespoon of nutritional yeast, but that's totally optional. And then you just want a little pinch of salt. And I'll start with like half, so a couple tablespoons of water. And then I'm just going to blend this up together. So when you use fresh basil, you need to blend it. But if I wasn't using fresh basil, I would just put this in a bowl and mix it with a fork. And then just stop midway and push the bits down that have come up the sides. You can see how much that basil shrunk. Great way to use up fresh parsley as well. If you've got a bunch of fresh herbs just about to go off in your fridge, just put them in with the tahini dressing. All right, so this looks great. I'm just gonna taste it. Yum. And then it's a bit thick for a salad dressing. So I'm just gonna add that other quarter cup of water. Another taste. All right, that is super tasty. I think it just needs another pinch of salt and one last whiz. We can transfer dressing number 1 to a bowl, and then you can toss that with a nice green salad, maybe some chunks of tofu in there, maybe some chickpeas, something to absorb this delicious flavor. Okay, next we're gonna make one of my favorites for summer when peaches and nectarines are in season. Just pick up a nice ripe one, take the pit out. You can also do this with plums and cut them into chunks. If peaches or nectarines are not in season, you could use frozen mango here, and just thaw it before you puree it. So we're gonna put that along with another clove of garlic again through the press. 1 tablespoon of whatever kind of nut butter you want. This is just for creaminess. It should be neutral flavored. I'm using tahini. Cashew butter is lovely. Almond butter, sunflower seed butter, any of those. Just not peanut butter. And then some white balsamic vinegar. If you can't find that, do white wine vinegar. A little squirt of Dijon mustard, just about a teaspoon. And a teaspoon of some kind of sugar, whether it's coconut sugar, maple syrup, brown sugar, whatever. And then a couple tablespoons of water and blend it up. And then just add more water if you need for consistency, or more nut butter, or both. So yummy. Now this one is great. You can serve it as a dip, or you can have it as dressing. I love this one with shredded jicama, or as a coleslaw dressing. This one's nice because it's a little sweet and it's also a little tangy at the same time. Okay, we'll give the blender a little bit of a rest and I'll show you the miso dressing that I made last week. I've got some new miso. This one is white miso, which is a little bit of a milder flavor than the red that I was using last week. So we're gonna do about a tablespoon of miso paste, about a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar or brown rice vinegar, about a tablespoon of soy sauce or tamari, about a teaspoon of toasted sesame oil. That's just in there for flavor. You can leave it out if you want to do fully oil-free. And I'm gonna mix this up together. I just press the miso against the bowl to combine it with the other liquids. So you want this to be smooth and thick. So the miso acts as a thickener. I'm gonna do some fresh ginger. This is optional. And like last week, I am going to grate and juice it. So this is lovely. You get all of the health benefits of ginger ale, the anti-inflammatory, the digestive, soothing, antibacterial, but you don't get quite the same bite of ginger. It's more of a soft, gingery flavor. So just get it all grated on your grater there and then squeeze it. You just want all of the juice to run out of there. Now you can grate your ginger in a microplane, but it doesn't do quite the same thing. You'll have to just put some of the grated ginger in there, and you probably wouldn't use as much ginger as I just did because it is pretty strong when you use the whole thing. Then we want to mellow it out with a little bit of sugar, and I'm gonna add some fresh sesame seeds because they add a whole lot of calcium and they look pretty cool when you toss them with your salad. You can also sprinkle some on top of your meal when you use this dressing. That looks yummy. Now last week I added a little bit of red pepper flakes, which you can do or you can leave it out. Yum. That is excellent on a salad or a stir fry, noodle bowl, just yum. Okay, we're going back to the blender because we're gonna do a dressing based on beans. White beans are one of my favorites to do a salad dressing with, although I do often do a hummus-based dressing. But white beans are great when you're just doing the dressing straight because they're so soft that they make a nice consistency. So to our beans, we are going to add some roasted red peppers. And you can roast your own or you can use some from the jar like I'm doing. And you want about a 1/4 cup. But you can just eyeball it and see kind of the ratio of bean to pepper. Another clove of garlic through the press. A little bit of red onion. We're essentially making a bean dip here. We're just gonna make it thinner to be a dressing. And I'm just gonna cut that in quarters to make sure it blends up. And that's too much. I'm just gonna do half of that. I'm gonna do a couple tablespoons of lemon juice, or you could do that white balsamic vinegar again, or white wine vinegar, or apple cider vinegar. And we'll bring a little green in there with some fresh parsley. Add some water. So this dressing I think would be so amazing on like a tomato, cucumber, avocado salad. Or you could even do a salad of just some white beans and baby spinach and toss this with it. One of my all-time favorites that you guys have seen me do a few times is a creamy avocado dressing, where essentially you take the ripest avocado you can find, mix it with a minimal amount of water. You can use some lemon juice if you want to brighten it up, and then just puree it with whatever fresh herb you like. Dill, lovely. Fresh basil, also delicious. Fresh mint, yum. If you like cilantro, you can do that. And then toss that with something that needs some creaminess. Massaged kale, one of my favorites. Grated or spiralized beet or jicama do nicely with an avocado dressing. And of course, there is a vegan Caesar dressing, where you can take a creamy dressing base, so you could use like the tahini dressing we did today, and then you add in your flavorings to get it tasting like a Caesar dressing, so lemon juice, nutritional yeast, capers, Dijon mustard, garlic, and maybe a little bit of miso for that savory flavor. All right, so lots of dressings for you to choose from and experiment with today. I like to think of recipes as a starting point, so please experiment, improvise, make your own based on the basics that I've shown you here today. I would love to hear what you make in your kitchen, so leave me a comment down below and let me know what you make and what you pair it with. If you have any questions for me, there's a link down below where you can ask me anything and get a personal video reply. Now next week, I'm gonna show you what I'm eating in a whole day, and I'm gonna do a whole day of salads. So look forward to that. Make sure you are subscribed and hit the bell for notifications so you'll know exactly when I post that. If you want to help support this channel, you can check out my books or ebooks, check out my meal plan membership site, or forward this video or another video or recipe of mine that you enjoy to a friend. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a healthy, happy day, and I'll see you back here next week. Bye! Avocado, yeah.